Good evening, everybody. Welcome back once again this week to Grudge Match Week with TDR. Tonight we have Blair Patterson versus Ashton Hooker here at Daytona in the Riley Prototypes, which is going to be an awesome, exciting race. Tonight in the booth, we have myself, Andy Shaner, alongside Jay Downham and Tom Rule. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good evening, Andy. How are you this evening?
Fantastic. How are you?
I recovered from last night. I took the red eye down here into Daytona. I got the memo a little bit later, so I took the red eye. I'm here for tonight's action, so this should be really fun. This is becoming a habit here this week, I think.
Yeah, I heard you saying last night during the broadcast you were out of breath talking so much. Have you recovered?
Yes, I have. So I got plenty of sleep last night. The Excedrin did help. Got a good night's sleep, and now I'm ready to go. And this one should be just as exciting. It's not as action-packed, but they're going to have close-pack racing as we watch on our screen here. These gentlemen up front are just trying to get the prototypes down with the drafting and things of that nature. So when these guys get going here, I think it's going to be pack racing. It's going to be tight racing, and we should see a different sort of racing tonight, which is awesome.
Absolutely. And Tom Rule, new to the booth tonight. Welcome, Tom.
Hey, how's it going, Andy?
Oh, pretty good. Yourself?
It's rolling pretty good. It's a little different than being bounced around in a race car last night and flipped upside down, watching guys actually trying to stay in line, not touch each other.
Yeah, it's going to be a very different dynamic from what we saw last night. These prototypes, they draft really well. They're a ton of fun, but what's going to happen when they try to make passes here?
I think that's going to be tough. I was listening to them practice, and they said these things, they can get it right up in touch. The temperatures don't get too hot, but they're having a hard time trying to pass. The slingshot is almost not going to happen tonight.
Yeah, so that's kind of the issue we're going to see. We're going to see a lot of follow the leader, I think, unless you try to get an outside line going. You have to have almost your whole team going with you, try to make it happen, maybe using some side draft. I don't know if these cars side draft that well. Has anybody tried that?
I don't know about that, but watching these guys now try the apron, that could come into play down there to see if somebody gets trapped down there where they can't come back up on the track before the corner, or if they're just going to try to run the apron.
And that's a great point, right? So one thing they have done tonight that is very different from any other Daytona race is if it is paved, you can race it, which is going to be very interesting. What do you think of that, Jay?
Yeah, I'm glad they kind of opened up the track. I mean, Northern NASCAR rules, they did it as a safety for the drivers, but it's just the way that those guys race around here, and the packs are really tight and close. They put restrictors on it. So with these cars, I'm glad they opened it up. They're able to use that bottom line, so we kind of get that run, and we just saw that as they come down and went 3 wide. I mean, they were able to make passes. They were able to swap positions, so it's possible. So I'm not sure it's going to be total follow the leader tonight. It does look like if you do get a run, you're able to take them 3 wide and get the passing. So we shall see as we're getting closer here to qualifying.
Yeah, and looking at the practice times, right? Names you're not used to seeing, kind of at the top of the leaderboard in an oval setting. Rick Kohler, kind of road course guru, right? He's sitting with the fastest speed right now. That's awesome. Awesome job by Rick. So we got drivers out here that this is really anyone's game.
Yeah, and it's good to see different names up front. Kohler, Jim Downham right there sitting in second, and Blair Patterson. They all seem to have just about the same time, so they're only 0.02 of a second behind.
Exactly. And I'm not sure who's kind of on what team. Maybe we could start flipping through some of these cars, maybe taking a peek at who is who here. We got, Rick Kohler, you're going to sit in the pits for us, aren't you?
Always happens, though.
Rick Kohler is a blue car. The blues are going to be for Ashton Hooker. So fastest car right now is a Hooker car in Rick Kohler. And then we go over and we'll find Jim here. Jim is also an Ashton car. And of course, Blair Patterson, not running his normal 91 tonight, but there's 91 on the hood. They are the yellow cars. So he's third fastest right now, leading his team. Adam Rickey is also, I do know for a fact, he is an Ashton. Now I'm confused.
I think he's in Blair's. So I'm looking at the Discord, and he's in the Blair chat.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the right. I'm very. Oh, so we're looking at Jason Ricker. I'm so used to the number 2 being Adam Rickey. That is Jason Ricker in the 2 car. The 15 car should be a yellow one of Adam Rickey there.
There's Adam, and we got a Miller Genuine Draft in the 16 car, so I'm not sure who's carrying the 16 tonight.
That is Josh Amor. Highside is what he goes by. A good friend of Blair's through Blair's stream. Came over to race with TDR tonight.
You know, the past few nights, there have been a few names that have been coming up on these leaderboards that we're not used to seeing as we're calling these races throughout the season. So it's good to see a bunch of new names and, you know, get to know a few of these guys that race on the other streams coming into TDR, experiencing that. So
absolutely,
it's wonderful to see.
The more the merrier. Jeremy Gaiman, he is a Ashton Hooker driver. And next would be Bob Burlew, is also a Ashton Hooker driver. So right now, top 7 definitely held by Hooker on the speed charts. And then Ashton did get his dad.
Yep, and he's running 8th, and then 9th is Ashton.
Oh, look out.
Oh, no.
Whoa! Oh, my goodness. Oh,
Wow.
boy.
Wow.
Thank goodness
Yeah.
they don't have to repair those things, and this is just practice.
Yeah.
Are we open qualifying, or are they doing single car runs?
It should be a single car run qualifier. Let's see. Lonnie Mixon. Where are you, Lonnie? Not on the track. Wonderful. But he's
Lonnie,
a yellow car.
This Team Blair.
Yeah.
Team player. Robert Trask in the 17 car is a Hooker driver. And Ryan Walter is a Hooker car. Is Blair missing a bunch of drivers? Is kind of my question right there. Eric Steele.
Well, there's 16 on track.
I have 9 to 7 right now.
Okay. Robert Cochran in the 90. Yellow. Well, maybe we just didn't get to the Blair cars yet. The 16 of that Miller Light is Team Blair. Josh
Blair, right.
MR, also known as Highside. And then Nicholas Smith, who has stolen my 7 tonight and is going to run that in the yellow 91 for Blair Patterson.
All right, so that 7 gets bounced around a lot, Andy. You're going to have to really take control of that number 7.
I know it. Gosh. I'm going to you know, I was going to change it to 07, but that's actually what Pudge is running now, since we both run the 7 car.
Right. Well, it's going to be yeah, well, at least you're not out there racing, so I guess you know, they can have it for the evening, right? You're just lending it out.
Yeah,
Maybe you should put some monetary on it, and whoever gets it, they run it out to you. Got to pay so much to the charity. Every time they run that.
That's
7,
right.
so.
You end up with my number. You got to pay. You got to make a donation.
That's right. At least $5 donation to run it for the evening, and if you win, you get half the winnings go to the charity as well. So.
Right. Dean Webb has showed up, and I believe he is Team Blair.
Okay, so that's 18 on track right now, so it should be evened up 9 and 9.
Yep, I believe so.
Okay, so we have the even teams of 9 and 9 out there, so that's a good thing. You see Ryan Walter in the 49.
So let's talk. Let's take care of some things. Tommy always reminds me of this, and I forget when he's not around. So let me take care of these bills real fast.
Okay, let's do that.
First up, Sunny South Raceway. Our Victory Lane sponsor, Sunny South Raceway. Grand Bay, Alabama. Lonnie Mixon is the track manager. They have tons of leagues down there, but they also specialize in youth drivers. They have from 4-year-olds to 74-year-olds on the track. Um, Great Legends uh, track. So if you're ever down in the Grand Bay, Alabama area, stop by Sunny South Raceway. Check them out. Next up, we have B&B Wraps. From coffee cars to semi-trucks. For all your vinyl wrapping needs, B&B Wraps can do the job for you. McConey Setup Shop. Jeff McConey and McConey Setup Shop has done nothing but great things for TDR, providing us with setups for IROC. We just got the setups for the 24-hour Daytona that's going to be coming up. A lot of TDR drivers are going to be taking part of as a team. Uh, McConey Setup Shops. Their setups are your victories. And last and not least is... I've got him here somewhere. Total Business Solutions. Payroll, time and attendance, HR needs. For any of your business needs, they have the tools for you so you can focus on growth. Total Business Solutions NE. Give Sean Risley a call. Tell him TDR sent you. All right, we got that out of the way now, and let's start taking a look at the speed charts here for qualifying as Jason Ricker sits on the pole at the moment.
Yeah, Jason Ricker on the pole. Rick Kohler pulled it down just to 1/1000th of a second behind. Adam Ricky and Anthony Hooker pulled down to 2/1000ths of a second behind them. It looks like guys got still qualifying out there. And then we got 3 with 4/1000ths of a second behind, and that would be Ashton Hooker, Ryan Walter, Eric Steele, Josh Armour, also known as High Side, came in 5/1000ths be with Blair Patterson. So ain't that something? Ashton actually beat out Blair in the qualifying.
Boy.
There was a nice 3 or 4 group of Ashton cars, but Dean Webb just broke that up with coming into 6th.
Yeah,
So we're coming to the end of Grudge Week here, right? We have tonight's race, and then we'll be off for 2 nights, and head into Sunday with the main event of Adam Ricky and Kevin McCann. But we've seen a different dynamic every night. What do you guys think so far of this entire Grudge match week?
Tom, I know you've been racing. I'm going to let you answer first.
Well, I took part in the one last night. It's a great way to blow off steam. It's if you have a little personal grudge and you want to have fun with the person and blow it off the steam, you go out, you race them. And I've never actually been involved in the meetings, but I know the couple I've been involved in have been a blast. It's all been fun.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you what, we started out, Andy, we started out with the luncheon race, which really kicked it off. That was a fun race from Darlington.
Yeah,
So we went to Darlington, South Carolina, and that was nothing but hot dogs, bologna, buns. I mean, there were so many puns in that race. I think people, so I know there were we got a lot of compliments on that one there. Everybody was saying they were just laughing their butts off at that one.
And
that was a good race.
Yeah.
And Tommy and the sandwiches, yeah. And then the next night was a different dynamic after that. So, I mean, it's one thing after another. We're seeing a lot of cars. We're seeing a lot of talent out there, and we're seeing where everybody stacks up. Last night's event was the banger race. That was kind of like an event that, kind of a special event that led up to going into our Friday Night Fight series to get people interested and see what they're going to be doing. And then tonight we're out here at Daytona in the Riley prototypes, and it's going to be on the oval. So these guys usually do the road course, but it's going to be on oval, and it's going to be the penultimate event going into Sunday. So, but thank goodness we get to stay here for a couple days and relax. But the guys are going to have a lot of work to do because this Daytona, they got to put they got to rebuild on the backstretch there, the backstretch grandstand again, put up a few more billboards and take some of the smoothness out of the track because they're going back to the Legacy Daytona where it's bumpy and it's racer's track that night. We're going to the 87. So it has been one heck of a Grudge week, off week for us. Everything has been different. Everything has been fun. And now we're just about ready to wrap it up with having tomorrow and Saturday off. But man,
Yeah, I think it's been awesome for everybody. I'm hoping that it's really brought the group together. You know, you've raced on, a lot of guys have raced on different teams all week. You know, got to race with different people. Brought the team aspect into it really strongly through the week. I think it'll overall, you know, going into uh, towards the end of the Pudge series, I think it's going to really help us um, having that teamwork all week.
yeah, it will because there has been a lot of team dynamics, and there have been. It's not the same people on the same team. Everybody was drafted differently, and it's kind of interesting how everybody drafted different drivers on a different level, and how they kind of mixed it up a little bit and how they played their strategy. That was kind of interesting to see the dynamic of that. Even though it was a bunch of fun, but it's kind of you had friends, you had favorites, you had those that are up front, that people like myself, who Lockwood didn't really know about me, but it's one of those things where you just come out and you show them what you're about, and it's a team, and everybody worked as a team, and everything worked out really well. So
Exactly. Let's check it on the chat real quick. We got Sharon O'Neill saying hello to you guys in the booth. And hi, Jay.
hey Sharon, how are you tonight?
Marty Brown, tonight should be much easier on the booth.
Yeah, cheers to you, Marty. I got you on that one. Thank you.
And Robert Trask, who is on the track right now, says Pete McCann is in the number 17 tonight. Uh, that reference comes to Kevin McCann had to pull out due to a scheduling conflict tonight, and Mr. Trask, I guess Pete Trask, has assumed that role of Kevin tonight.
All right, well, we're getting ready to go green here, and this will be coming down. It looks like they're about even on the bottom and the top. I mean, you're looking at the blue and yellow.
I was going to say the teams are lined up pretty much in their own lines, except a few mixed in.
Yeah.
We'll see if they try to swap to get in line with their respective teammates.
Looks like that black car is going to be Dean Webb, and they're off. Jason Ricker is going to head them down into the back straight.
Be interesting to see if Rick tries to push Ricker out front and try to bail on him and see if push him out of line.
Yeah, and they're really working. I mean, they're just staying in line right now. I mean, you really can't get too far out of line, but you got the yellow cars and Blair Patterson's team on the bottom, and you got Ashton pretty much lined up on top. So until things get sorted out, it's going to be interesting to see how long that these guys are going to run side by side, who can get an advantage, if anything's going to get out of line. I haven't really seen anybody get too squirrely. They seem to be playing it on the track pretty well, so I really don't see that much of an issue. Maybe somebody just making a mistake, not knowing that somebody's there, or just jumping up. But so far, yeah, it's
and we're not looking at a terribly long race either, right? We're only looking at 50 laps. Of course, it is close to a minute a lap, but it's not a ton of laps at Daytona. They will have to take fuel. I believe a fuel run is somewhere around 45 laps.
They've said if this goes green, they might have to stop for fuel. I mean, they said they handle really well in the draft, too, when I was listening to them talk in practice.
We are now 3 wide with 3 distinct lines. Not just one guy shooting it up the middle. We are 3 wide.
Yeah, and they are really getting...
There's guys up in the wall.
Rick could try to hold up that bottom line and hold up Team Blair and let his team get around the outside if that's an option.
Yeah, and they're just... I'm not sure. Somebody just jumped down the road.
But Ashton Hooker has assumed the lead. Or, I guess he's on the outside line. He was fastest at the line, I should say. Rick Bowler is on the bottom, pushing the lead right now, and we are 3 wide still, door to door. Oh.
That apron came into play there.
Yeah,
look at this. Really... They are door to door. Rick Kohler and Ashton
I'm
Hooker.
not sure. They may be stuck together because I don't see anybody getting away from each. Oh, there they go. Okay, they finally separated.
Woo.
So yeah, Rick Kohler.
Oh, that was Adam Rickey and Rick Kohler.
Oh, they get squirrely.
Wow, Kohler's getting really brave on that.
He
is
just
pushing
shoved
that way.
Adam down to the bottom.
Yeah. Now that's something that you don't see every day. Well, I guess Kohler's trying to make a name for
Oh, we got
there's
Rick!
another draw. There's 2, 3 cars.
Oh my
4
goodness!
cars.
I see flipping and flying.
Looked like a helicopter there.
Woo.
Yellow's out for a 50.
Well,
so.
you saw that coming. It seemed like, we're starting to get a little bit of temper flare. Oh boy, look at this.
They're still flying.
Carnage.
Oh wow.
Carnage.
Lost the wing.
Look at them go.
Man.
Wow.
Man, they are getting some rolling on that one, aren't they?
Whew. I think we have some virtual
Cars
souls
upside.
that are no longer. Let's see. We got the 2 car up there in the middle gets spun, and it just is carnage from there.
That was one heck of a hit by all of those guys. And see that one yellow car? It looked like it went and pushed that safer barrier as far back as it would go. I mean, just head on into the wall.
Ooh.
I think Blair's team took the brunt of the damage. Looks like these 3 cars to 1, if I'm counting right.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a lot more yellow took that one. But boy, what a hit. Ashton Hooker was in the lead at the time of the caution at the scoring loop. So he's going to assume the lead here. We're only 5 laps in. They only had 2 quick repairs. So we're only 5 laps in. We get that kind of racing this early. Might be guys sitting for some time.
Yeah, and that's just a product of they were trying to get things straightened out a little bit, and a few laps ago, probably lap 2 or 3, they started to move down under that yellow line, and that kind of created that 3-wide racing that we were seeing. And then it was just a product of racing, trying to stay in line, and it looked like that one yellow car just got a little bit tight just for a second and just caught the where we're sitting there.
Yeah, that was a racing incident for the most part, but as close as these guys were running together, I'm surprised we didn't see it earlier with Rick and Adam. I mean, Rick was just leaning on Adam's door.
Yeah, and that's really
It's hard
that's
to
probably
imagine
the boldest move that I have seen. That's got to be the bold move of the race, because I have
lap 4.
Yeah, I mean, he was just all over at it. It looked like they were stuck together going down through turn 3 all the way down, pretty much to coming down that short chute and back to the start-finish line.
It's like about half the field hit the pits.
The old saying, 8 wheels are better than 4, and that proved it there.
Yeah. And then I guess if he didn't have enough of it, he made sure that Adam got down below the yellow after that.
The dangerous part about that yellow line is going to be if they get stuck down there and they get to a corner and they got to get back up on the racing surface, that could cause some havoc.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because any car that you get down to, I mean, it's okay to run that yellow line down, but if you're, like you said, if you take it into the corner, you're going to get that immediate push right off that track, and if those guys are low, it's just going to create, chaos like we just saw all night.
But
so
definitely Team Blair took the brunt of that, because as we look through the field, other than the Miller Genuine Draft car, we are back through, I believe, P7. 1 through 7 is going to be, well, you got Dean Webb in there at 6.
Yeah, I was going to say Dean Webb is in there.
So we got 4-2 in the top 6.
Yeah.
And then you got Trask, got him Ricky, who I just saw him pit, so he must have just gone in.
Hard to call that with those other cars in there, because they are dark colored, and that is a dark blue car.
Yeah. Well, at least you can see the yellow cars, so I mean they stand out, which is kind of good. So you're able to see see the yellow cars kind of stand out under the lights.
When they line back up, it's going to be a lot of blue cars in a line with those lone 2 cars by themselves.
Yeah.
It's like somebody just beat out the pit, beat out that pace car coming out of the pit.
We still have a couple guys in the pit.
It looks like
probably had to
Rick,
take a tow.
Eric Steele and Anthony Hooker. Yeah, so McDonald comes back out on track
some
now.
guys lap down, and those are I believe a lot of yellow cars. Let's take a look. The 09 of Gaiman. No, he is a blue car. Ricker is a blue car.
He dropped 2 laps down. Anthony Hooker dropped 2 laps down.
Yeah. Chuck McDonald. Okay, so he is a yellow. Eric Steele is still in the pits. And
Taking a tow and is now trying to get all the repairs.
Anthony Hooker. So it's the guys that are lapped down actually Team Ashton has taken the brunt of the back of the pack.
And they were just falling in line. I think a lot of them had just suffered a little bit of damage from everybody just flipping. I mean, there was nowhere to go. I mean, that cars were just flipping everywhere on the backstretch.
You start getting these things out of control, and they just fly. They will get airborne easily.
Pace car ducks down.
It's going to be Ashton Hooker and high side. On the high side.
So Ashton gets a nice little jump there with his teammates, and now they all jump down to the bottom. That's going to leave Josh Armour on the outside there.
That's going to bring Dean Webb up with Josh. They are teammates for Team Patterson.
The cars close good. They just, once they're in line, they don't like to move.
All right. But Dean, from seeing Dean run a lot in the Pudge series and having run with him in other leagues as well, he is a great pusher.
Ashton with the aggressive move.
That was a pretty aggressive block there.
Yeah, they're getting aggressive out there. Well, we've seen that from the drop of the green flag. I mean, they're getting aggressive. So I'm not sure if it's just a product of how, what the package is here tonight, or if it's just that's what he's trying to do is just be aggressive. So it's hard to say at this point.
Well, it worked because he jumped up and he cut the momentum off that high side. Now they're dropping back.
Now you almost got an even split of the blue cars up front and the yellow cars in the back there trying to work their way up. And then you got two, you kind of reverse it. So you got 2 in the top 10 there for Blair, kind of leading that. And then you got 2 in the back of Team Ashton. So we roll around, lap 9, come up on lap 10 as they roll down the back stretch here. And that bottom line seems to be having the more you get lined up, kind of like any car here, the more you get lined up, the faster you're going, it seems. So,
yeah,
not as much of a split as we saw during that first half of it.
And see, Ashton has really held up that top line.
That might have been their plan all along, just to try to make those Blair cars drop to the back.
Yeah, and that bold block move that he just pulled is the reason we're here tonight with him and Blair. He was pulling the blocks against Blair in the first Steel Lockwood Grudge match, and Blair didn't like it too much, and I think after the second or third one, Blair said, it's time to get out of the way.
Yeah, well, right now, if you look at the split, I mean, hate to say it, but Ashton's got the one-up on Blair right now,
Yes.
So even that blocking is working.
Blair's riding all the way back in 10th right now.
So there's a 5-car difference. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens when Blair gets around Ashton at any point of this race. If he's going to decide they're going to try to block again, considering the aggressiveness of the nature of just having to run here. You have to be on the, like I said, if you're looking at the packs here, they're getting lined up up front, and they're starting to pull away a little bit and create a second pack as they're running 3 wide here.
His high side is going up the middle to try to get a front of Ashton here. That inside line's throwing some blocks now up. Boy, this is going to get crazy again.
So, I mean, they're not really losing or gaining anything. It's pretty much the same as when we went green about 3 laps ago.
You see that 17 is moving up to stop that Miller genuine draft car to slow him up. Eventually, that's going to get old on somebody.
And this is kind of like the product of what we saw during that last, which created that first caution there.
These guys getting 3 wide is letting the leaders pull away a little bit, not much.
Yeah, the front three have stayed. Notice the tail, and they're starting to get a little bit of a separation, but it's not really that big of a run. So I'm wondering if, and it looks like the Blair team, they're kind of just riding right now, taking whatever they can get. But if Josh Armour can get around and have somebody go with him there, I mean, he's got two teammates right behind him. I think somebody could just pull up. He's got pretty much all of his teammates right behind him now. So if there's ever a time for the teams to get together, this would be it and try and form a line.
They may be just trying to ride around for a little bit and let the laps click off.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think at this point with the aggressiveness of Team Ashton, I think I would be, if I was Blair, I'd be telling my team, it's too early. Let's take it easy. Let them do their stuff, and we'll make our move and do what we have to do at the end, towards the end of the race.
Right, and as we run down the order here, Ryan Walter, who was our Teddy Bear Drive winner, he is out front, leading these guys. Rick Kohler, who we saw get a little bit aggressive with Adam Rickey there a little bit ago, he's running second. Jim Downham, who's gentleman Jim, this is his type of racing. Wasn't that much last night, but tonight's his forte. And you can see he's excelling, so maybe he took out all of his aggression last night.
I don't know. I
settled down and got into a rhythm here.
Short
So.
little.
He was the one we actually felt bad about wrecking last night.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I eventually told my team to stop hitting him. But you know, talking to Brendan, who was on that team last night after the race, Brendan says to me, you know, Jim was mad in Discord. He goes, I've never seen Jim mad.
No, what happened was his spring broke on his accelerator pedal, so that upset him more because he had to switch it over to the braking clutch. So as he was doing that, but you're so used to hitting the brake, so every time he would go down pit road or something like that would happen, he would try and think that he was hitting the brake just out of habit, and it was the accelerator, so he would get penalties. So he just ended up having a bad night last night.
Yes.
And I can understand that completely, because when you are racing and you do this, we do this 7 days a week. I mean, some of us 6, 5. When you have your setup the way that it is, it's hard to go and remember that your brake pedal is now your gas pedal and your clutch is now your brake pedal. And then because it has a totally different feel, and it's just like taking your car. If you were to have a car and then try and reverse it, where now your accelerator is your brake pedal and the gas pedal is now the brake, you're going to be so confused. And then to do that in the middle of a race, it's very frustrating. So
Exactly. Let's check in with the chat again. We got Dustin Velduzen has chimed in. He is at a meeting tonight for the track that he works at. He has been elected to their board, and this is his very first board meeting with them. So he's still at the meeting. Marty Brown gives a score of 10 to the blue car with a reverse back handspring. Assuming he's talking about the flipping blue car during the caution. Dustin is asked, who is blue, who is yellow?
But he can't hear it.
I will type that in. Blue is Ashton.
Ashton, yellow is Blair.
There we go.
Tom, I'm not really seeing too much moving here. I mean, we're at 17. I mean, 4 laps from where we last left talking about these guys, but it looked like that number 16 starting to move back a little bit. Josh is moving back high side and getting with his teammates.
I think they're just content now to ride around. They're trying to get in single file. You get the occasional Team Ashton car jumping up trying to hold off the run, but I think it seems like they're content to ride for the time being.
Right.
Yeah, and again, we all know what kind of product that Daytona can bring. So I think it's a smart move to just ride around for a little while, and that's an awesome shot right there. I love that. Seeing the real speed of these cars, that gives you a little bit of a sense of how fast they're going.
Yeah, they are moving around here. I'm not sure what the top speed is. Did you get a chance to drive any test laps there?
No, I haven't. I didn't get to drive any test laps in this. It's not as high as you would think. I think they were topping out somewhere 170.
That's what I heard listening to them talk back and forth in that first practice they did. That were saying 170s, 180 max, but that was right on each other's bumper. They're not even in high gear. They're only running around like fourth gear. I think these cars have 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Get a little bit of a push here from Team Blair, and it looks like it's actually Blair coming up himself in the 5th position.
You can only ride around for so long before you just get so impatient back there and almost bored and falling asleep back there that it's time to do something. It's time to go.
Time to go. And we're going to have to see, again, some of those guys, at least that front part of Team Ashton is going to have to pit.
But yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean, it was after lap 5 that they pitted, and that accident happened. So those guys that pitted, according to what you're saying, should have enough fuel to go to the end.
Yes.
They're maybe hoping that they saved enough under that one yellow, or they're just hoping that there's another one they can save a little bit more.
Yeah, if we get one more caution, it might push them to the end. It's going to be real close. But somebody like Ryan Walter right now, who's running out front, he's going to burn up the most fuel. So he would probably be smart if he swapped with a teammate for a little while, just so he could have some fuel savings.
As we see the high side starting to actually make gains now. So the Blair, and there we go.
And there's
Ryan's
that block again. They did it again.
They're forcing the issue. Oh, they're going to go.
There it is. Kohler got involved. 17 car got involved. Robert Trask got involved. Oh no, we're flipping down the back stretch on that turn again.
That is exactly a product of that move that they did it again. That's obviously a strategy. We have a rule in TDR. You can block once, you can block twice to defend a position. The third time you do it, you are game to be moved.
That's a product of that's what we saw. But man, I don't think he measured that quite correctly getting around there, and that's number 7 involved. Nicholas Smith, he was up there in that.
He was trying to create a hole that wasn't there, and he tried pushing it up the middle.
And he went down, it looked like. I'm not sure if he just got that banking and just, man, look at that car just flinging everywhere. So.
Here it is. It's a product of those guys throwing those moves.
Yeah.
Just don't think it's the right time to be pushing that kind of block. You're not even halfway through the race. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, no, they did have a run. We did see them start to get the run coming up through there, but like you said, I think that that was too early to make that move. So, product of the racing, Lonnie Mixon, I think, was a 14.
But it's an obvious strategy for Team Ashton, as we have seen it twice now. With any time a Team Blair gets a run on the outside, they throw somebody up to that high side to stop it.
If pit road's open, will we see the leaders come in? That'll be the question now, or do they think they saved enough?
Well, we got one, I know, it looks like 2 takers right now, 3. 3 are jumping down. Somebody stays out. That might have been Ryan Walter, maybe.
Ryan and Jim on their way in.
And now in these cars at this track, I would be a fuel-only stop, only taking a little bit of gas to get you to the end. Shouldn't be in there very long. I don't think tires are necessary.
No, tires shouldn't be an issue with 50 laps in these.
A lot more Team Blue than Team Yellow.
Track position will be key. They won't want to stay there any longer than they have to.
Oh, absolutely. Blair Patterson.
I side with a quick launch off pit road.
As they line back up now, it's going to be a little more, I think, more even on the split than we saw before. It's not going to be all Ashton up front and Blair in the back. It should be pretty well evened out as we take the green here. As they get lined up again. I see more yellows up the front this time than I do the blues, so we're gonna kind of did a role reversal there, but I thought there was a couple more that stayed out, but I guess not. There's number 5 car.
Some damage looks like on the car. Hopefully it won't affect it too much in the draft.
That 5, was that Blair? That's Blair
That is
Patterson,
Blair,
isn't it?
yes.
Okay. It looks like we have one in front of Blair that he's probably going to get the wave around.
Jason Ricker will probably get the wave around.
That'll put him back on the lead lap. That'll be another one for Team Ashton.
Yeah, as these guys were rolling through, I mean, it took a while for that outside lane to get rolling. And then eventually they caught up, and that's what the chaos ensued. So it is possible to get that outside line working.
So now you're going to see a dynamic here. If Team Blair, which I'm sure they have noticed at this point, that is their strategy to throw somebody up to block the outside line if the other team is coming. You now have Team Blair, 1, 2, 3, 4, top 4. Will they now give it back to them?
That's going to be a question that I think only time will tell. But we've seen it where they're throwing a block and it ends up hurting somebody else's team. So, do you want to take that risk now? Or?
Yeah. See, both times that happened, it caused both. It's caused both cautions.
Yeah, a lot of cars went flying. But now it's a reverse dynamic here. So we got Blair Patterson's team up front and Ashton behind. So
If they control both lines, you could see, could the apron come into play? Could they, Team Ashton, try to force something up the middle, or just get in a line and try to get a run?
in that first early laps, I believe it was Team Blair that run down to the bottom, and that caused them all to kind of break that draft a little bit, and they did end up going 3 wide about a lap or two before that first incident. So it's gonna be interesting to see. So
Yeah, for sure. I that's what I'm thinking. If I'm, and you got some aggressive drivers up front. You got Blair and Adam up front, so they're not going to be afraid to give it back to them. I don't think.
So pace cars now ducking off in the pit road as they get lined back up here.
Dean
Blair.
Webb shoots to the outside very quickly, try to get up there with his team.
I wonder if there was some team orders there to fall in line as quick as possible on that restart.
Yeah, that's what it looked like because Blair and
there it is. There it is.
Yep.
Same exact thing right there.
Yep.
Reigning TDR driver of the year, Ricky, pushing Blair way out front.
Yeah, they're going to run away with that.
That's the biggest lead that I've seen 2 cars get together and have. So.
Yeah, you got 2 really good, fast drivers up front right now too.
A couple Blair drivers through.
At least Blair didn't spin the tires this time. As we got, you didn't catch that, did
you? I missed it too.
You missed it. I said at least Blair didn't spin the tires this time. So.
Oh, yeah, that is true. You know, he's an award winner too.
That one went over my head.
TDR award winner for funniest moment of the year for telling everybody not to spin their tires and then doing it himself.
So, yep, that was the. Oh, we got more blue cars getting up there. Oh, there's the bottom side, so he's gonna hold it. There it is. There it is. Yep. And
we're gonna have a caution.
Did anybody save it? I don't see anybody around. Just the one car. So, yep, caution is out.
Was that your brother?
I was looking. I don't know if it was him or not, but
let's see what we got here. Can't tell if that was him or not. Let's see who goes. Someone's gonna go down low there. That is the 28. Is it the 28?
that's a bold move for Jim to be making.
That is Jim Downham with the bold move of the race. Down there on the bottom.
That is unusual. I would not have thought Jim would have taken that aggressive of a move.
Maybe that's why he did it. They didn't expect him to do it.
Just
But-
trying to see if there was anything that he could do down on the bottom. Maybe he was,
But like we said, that apron just shot him right back up on the track.
You sure he's in his own car tonight?
I might have to. There might be a
We need to
a
dial
driver
him up.
pushing it. Yeah, we need to dial him up, put him in here just to make sure that it's actually him, because that was a bold move going down.
Are you able to dial people up there, Jay?
Yeah, you want me to move Jim down here?
No, let's get Adam Ricky up here. He said he would gladly talk to us during the race.
Right, I'm gonna bringing in Adam Ricky now. So there he goes.
Adam, Andy up in the booth. How you doing down there?
We are doing something.
Doing something. So, I was explaining to everybody what brought on this grudge match was a lot of blocking, and it seems like that is happening tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate because when we pitted on that early caution, everyone from, Team Blair, we were good to the end. Like, there was no need to push it because everybody in front of us needed to pit.
Yeah, and so it seems, and we did notice that, right? So then the last caution, we saw a lot of blue cars coming in. But it seems like the team with the lead, it seems like Team Ashton started this, but if the other team starts to get a run on the outside, they're throwing somebody up there to block the outside line.
Yeah, I actually think the outside's the fastest. If you get enough people up there, I think you can make some good speed. But also because we're playing, if it's paved, you can use it. And I might turn it into if it's in between the walls, you can use it. So you got to guard the bottom too. So like it's now, instead of being 3 wide, you can go 4 or 5 wide now, which I think you may see at the end of the race.
And with that being said, that everything can be used. Are you surprised what caused this last caution was Jim Downham making the under the yellow attempt?
Yeah, we were just talking about that actually in the Discord. It's risk reward for both sides because once you go down there, you're hoping the person lets you up, so you're risking that, and then the person that's just above the yellow line is risking holding that person down because they don't have to let them back up because that's the lane you picked. So you might be stuck with that going into the corner, and we saw an incident where 2 people didn't give, and now a couple quick repairs are burn off.
Exactly. Well, pace car lights are off, so we'll let you get back to your job at hand. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you soon.
Awesome, anytime.
Get him sorted back out there, Jay.
Well said by Adam, to where if you drop below that yellow line, you're kind of giving yourself up and you're at their mercy that you might not get back up there. You might have to give.
That's right.
Yeah, and there wasn't a whole lot of give. There's not really a lot of. There's more take than give at this present moment, and they're forcing the issue. We've seen that a lot. Rick Kohler getting into Ricky, pushing him down into under the yellow. Jim making a bold move there, trying to get underneath, and I guess trying to see if that would work for the team. See if he could hold it there through the line. I don't know, but that was definitely one of the bolder moves that I've ever seen Jim make. He's really not that aggressive.
This is reminding me of the Young Guns grudge match where it seemed that a driver would jump up out of line to try to hold up another line or hold up another team.
Yeah, for sure. It's
a lot of aggressive blocking, a lot of aggressive driving tonight from guys that you don't really see aggressiveness from. So interesting to see.
You got to follow team orders from team captain, I guess, in these kind of matches, right? So
that's
the question now is going to be: is Adam going to be able to get in line with Blair, or is these Ashton guys going to push the issue and not let him?
No, I think Blair and Adam should get a.
Yeah, they've got the advantage with knowing when Blair's going to go. He gives them a countdown and hopefully. No, it didn't work.
As we say that, yeah.
You have a blue bumper underneath you pushing you, and you have no choice but to go.
That's true.
Now, of course, Adam did say he thinks that high line is the faster line as well, so he's going to be comfortable riding up there.
And you can see it right there. Adam just pulls by himself on the outside. Blair may be dragging back a little bit, holding everybody back and letting Adam get around him. So now Adam's to the front.
Adam throwing the block.
Bob can cut under. Yep, Bob's going to cut under him, cross over.
And we got another move. So yeah, that was a pretty good move though to go up and around. I mean, that was a pretty clean race in there to swap positions and jockey around a little bit. Come
So
back
now
to the line.
both teams control a line.
Ryan Walter back to the front. Looking to the outside. Got Blair Patterson on the inside. Rick Kohler right behind Adam, who was pinched down earlier. But I don't see him being, that aggressive right and
Oh,
my
big wreck,
God,
big
Oh
wreck.
boy, there it is again.
3, 4 Ashton cars. I saw at least 1 or 2 Blair cars involved in that. As we're 21 to go.
Wow.
Definitely, they're not going to need fuel at this point. They're good to go.
No, I think everybody's good to go.
And that was in the back. Normally we see it up front. But man.
Jim and Hooker.
Oh, Hooker hits Jim there.
Yeah, it looks like he just got a little bit loose coming out of that in the middle of that turn and just turned right down and just unfortunate that he got into the back of his teammate there.
I think this is under caution.
I think that was after.
That's under caution?
That's under caution. Because the big
I
wreck's
don't know
here.
what that was about. Yeah, well there all right, well there's highlight.
Here's the big wreck. It's gonna come up here.
Oh, all right, they're already spinning there.
Couldn't tell if the top line bounced off the wall and came down, or if he just thought he was closer to the wall than he was.
Whoever that is that took that really hard hit on just looked like a helicopter spinning there. That's the one that just came down on Highline. Not sure exactly who that was. Josh Armour, and
then as we continue
after that.
As we continue on, we are under caution right now. This is after the big wreck. Ashton just drives down into his teammate.
Huh. Don't know what that was about.
Not either.
Unless
the product of the Hooker VR.
Probably was dizzy from the spin.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, well, Adams to the front now. Ryan's behind that. Rick Kohler's in third. Bob Berlew fell back to 14. Webb to fifth. Blair Patterson's sitting in sixth. Chuck McDonald seventh. Robert Cochran in eighth. Jason Ricker in ninth. Lonnie Mix in 10th. Jim Downham is in the pits in 11th. 12th is Ashton Hooker and Josh Armour. Also, there's 3 are in the pit. 14th is Nicholas Smith. 15th, Pete Trask. 16th is Eric Steele. 2 laps down, Anthony Hooker is in the pit, and Jeremy Gaiman is in the pit in 18th. So that runs out your top order. The running order with 19 laps to go.
Yeah, they keep this up. There's not going to be a whole lot of cars left on the track at the end of the race.
There's got to be some guys on their last lives in this race with quick repairs.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure a couple of them had already used them up. So, if not before, this is definitely it. I don't think there's anything left.
Jeremy Gaiman's been sitting a while. I wonder if he's having the toe back.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the product of the toe. So he'll probably sit in there. But the good news is, I mean, it's a big track, so it's not like a Bristol or a Martinsville or something like that where they come around pretty quickly. I mean, you have quite a bit of time to get your repairs done, towed, and get back out there. And if he has a quick repair, it's not going to hurt him too bad. But at this point, it's all teams, so it's, I guess, where you're finishing at. And I think Jeremy Gaiman, Anthony Hooker, Eric Steele. Steele is he a Blair racer?
Steele is, I believe, his team Blair. The bottom 2, I believe, are Team Ashton.
As we look at the split, we got Blair Patterson's team up front, followed by 3 Ashton cars. And then we've got the Dean Webb, who kind of falls in line with he's on the Blair side, but looks like he's on Ashton's side.
So Eric Steele is Blair. And Anthony Hooker is on his son's team. Jeremy Gaiman is also a blue car.
And Jeremy's still sitting in the pit. So either he used up both of his quick repairs and has now got to wait, and that's going to really hurt. As you're going to need as many guys out there. But you have Eric Steele and Anthony Hooker who are on the same lap, 2 laps down, so that's the point either way, if Anthony can get around or if Eric can maintain. So, I mean, you're talking a point there for your team because they're both on the same lap. And I believe we had somebody, special guest, just join us in the booth back from their meeting as we were discussing. Good
Dustin,
evening,
welcome.
Dustin. And goodbye, Dustin.
Bye, Dustin.
And gone.
He was here for a second. I mean it. He was.
Just kidding.
Yeah, we were getting everybody excited out there for their favorite broadcaster.
He's back.
You back? Dustin,
Mic
got a read
problems.
on us?
Mic problems. Got it.
Why not a Charlie or a Chris problem? Why got to be a Mike problem? I mean,
welcome to the last few laps we're going to run here. We've had some caution issues and get ready to go back green here.
The green now as he come back down. Man, Adam gets a good little run there. Coming down, and we still got. I don't know. Yeah, Adam, I'm confused, Andy, because I'm used to seeing him in the 2 out of 15.
Yeah, it confuses me too.
Dustin, you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So you've been able to watch this thing so far, Dustin. What have you seen?
Bit. You guys were talking about the last few cautions, and right before I got in, you guys were talking about, how many people have quick repairs left, and, I guess I was in a meeting, so I was watching, but I wasn't watching.
Oh, Kohler!
There it is.
Kohler
He just threw a slide job on the apron. Really, that was like a dirt slide job.
Yeah, I think Adam. I think Adam definitely remembers earlier the dooring that happened here. So this could get interesting right here.
And he's not giving him any room whatsoever because he got right underneath of him, got him sideways, got back up underneath of him. So I'm not sure if you want Adam up there and Kohler next to each other.
There it is.
There we go. They're spinning.
There it is.
That's the payback.
Everybody.
3, 4 Blair cars. So that move, that little vengeance payback blocking move just took out and hurt for the Blair cars. And right there, you got two of the Ashton cars. So Blair's team took more of a punishment on that one. You came at the right time, Dustin.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting there. Well, you guys were talking, something must have happened earlier in the race that I missed.
Oh, you've missed a lot.
Like I said, I was watching at my meeting. We were talking sponsorships and stuff.
And I'll be honest, it looked like Adam put it out there and said, you know what? I'm tired of this, Rick. You're going to go for a ride.
Yeah, and just to bring you up to speed, Dustin, back around the first couple of laps in this race, Rick Kohler and Adam Ricky were running side by side, and Kohler was not giving any room to Ricky whatsoever and pushed him underneath going across the start-finish line.
I mean, he was running his door literally.
And then pushed him off underneath the yellow line. So
they were touching doors probably for a good couple corners.
Wow.
So I think, like I said, that's just a little bit of a payback there.
I've missed a pretty exciting race on the way it sounds.
Well, Dustin, what we were talking earlier, and we'll remind everybody now that this grudge match came about because Ashton was doing a lot of blocking in the Steel Lockwood grudge match 1. And he was blocking Blair a lot, and Blair had enough of it and took him out. That's why we're here tonight. And we're seeing the same thing happen in the race.
I was actually in that race and behind them and watched that. Yeah. Up my windshield.
So yeah, this is definitely one of the. I don't know. This grudge match seems to carry over from that race. So but now we got everybody's being involved with the push and shoving and blocking and the aggressive blocking of it. So
this grudge match might create another grudge match.
Yeah, we might have a few out of this one.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been seeing a little bit. I've gotten to see anyway.
Because what we've noticed is if a team is controlling the low line and the other team's coming up on the outside, they throw a blocker up to the outside, slow down the outside line. It's been It's been that type of race.
It's kind of carrying over from last night.
Yeah, it's not.
Not as
No, I don't
it's
think it
not
carried over from
being.
last night. It started tonight, just by the
Yeah.
product of what they're. It's close racing. As you really couldn't hear anything, but Tom alluded to it at the very start of the broadcast, and so did Andy. They have to get together. It's got to be some sort of pack racing as usual here at Daytona. But during practice and stuff, the only way that you could get really any run going is you had to kind of get under a guy, get him out of the lane, and then everybody kind of came together. But I think some of these guys got a little bit, or getting it a little bit too aggressive. Jim Downham, we saw him get aggressive underneath, which you never really see Jim get aggressive at all. He took an aggressive move and caused an incident. Kohler's been, like I said, he was right on Ricky's door for the first, for about a lap or two, and before they finally got the separation. And now another incident happened when Blair's team came up through the pack and they're getting to the front. And it's just, it's a product of racing and what you guys bring. And, you got to do what you got to do to get your team up there. But I think sometimes, you have to be a little bit more aggressive in these cars than some of these drivers want to, or
Yeah,
maybe some of them
they're
are not
getting a
comfortable.
little aggressive, and maybe some of the skill levels aren't there, or it's a little bit dirty too, right? It's not. I think it's past that aggressive side of it
Right.
at this point, and headed into the dirty.
Well, the only way that we could figure that out is if you can. We have about 35 seconds. Can you go back to that inside Adam Ricky's car and see if he pushed that steering wheel to one side or the other? That would definitely give a good indication.
It looked a little bit like Adam might have went below the yellow line, and that you might have gave up stability. That car might have started to tweak a little bit and pushed him up into it, but like you said, the hands will tell the story.
The hands will tell the story on whether or not.
That
I
is
didn't see
Ricky's
any-
cockpit. So
I did not see any malintent there whatsoever. He's holding that wheel pretty steady as we're going down in the turn. Here. And no, there was no malintent. He was turning left.
that would have been the car of Rick Kohler then. That would have.
Right. But from the booth, it looked like Ricky was the aggressor on that one, and it wasn't. So, because he was going left, so maybe they just got it like Tom was alluding to. They got a little bit of arrow on them, and it just brought those two together. So there you go. The conclusion is in that it was not malintent by Ricky. So we go back to racing here. Pace car's about ready to pull back down. Ryan Walter, Jason Ricker, Jim Downham, Ashton Hooker, Blair Patterson, Dean Webb, and Robert Trask. So let's pay attention to that second row as we got Blair Patterson and Ashton Hooker are right there together. So this ought to be interesting. These are the guys that are grudge matching. These are the guys that have been blocking. They've been very aggressive blocking so far. So how are they going to act around each other and the team captains, or how are they going to handle this?
And with only 12 to go, it's getting down to crunch time. It's go time. There's no holding back now, as you see Dean Webb really being aggressive coming through the pack. And look, the 2 is just pushing him up the track. Again,
Yep, Ricker.
Getting into that kind of dirty type of racing again.
He's trying to latch onto the bumper of the 49, just push him way away.
And then we saw that happen with Blair and Ricky. They got a good jump out in front. Jim Downham's back up in third. So kind of back to alludes to around like lap 4 or 5 when these guys were running up front together. So what do you guys think out there on YouTube? How are you guys enjoying this race? What are you seeing out there? And are you enjoying it? We'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, it's been a quiet chat tonight. Hope we didn't burn them out with all the races we've had.
We got Ryan Walter now, and there we go, 3 wide. Is that high side taking it up there on the high side? Taking it 3 wide? No, or is that no? That's an Ashton car.
Team Ashton driver.
That is,
like Ashton
that is
himself.
Ashton himself. Yes. You have one up in the wall.
No yellow, staying green.
3 wide, so we got that's 4, 5, 5 Ashton cars at the 2 in the middle there. I believe those are Blair. So
Yeah, all the middle line cars are Blair. The
this is
front
a very close
4
one.
are Ashton, and then you have a ton of Blair cars, and Ashton himself kind of in that mix.
With 10 to go, these guys are definitely showing that they are aggressive in this race. So we're going to see another caution.
We're about 4
There
wide
we
right
go.
now.
3 wide.
Oh my!
3 wide, 4. There it is.
There it
There's
is.
the
Ashton
caution.
lost it. Yep.
The car does a helicopter spin and goes flying around, and
that is going to really, you look at this now, really hurt Team Ashton.
yeah, that took away the advantage. And 9 to go, so it's been a bit on average of 4 laps under caution. So we'll go back to green with about 5 laps to go.
17 of Pete McCann.
Man,
Whoa, look at that.
It's amazing he didn't hit the fence. It looked like he just kind of spun and just kept that momentum along the track.
So Ashton's up there, just
With
yeah,
high-
there's
with high side. There's just not enough room there.
yeah, it's wow. Dustin, what do you think of that one?
It's pretty crazy. I was actually just sitting here watching, just trying to take it in. Looks like there's some good side draft down there. I don't know if you guys covered that at all, but it looked like maybe Ashton was holding back that middle group, and then he just lost it there.
It's actually
I mean,
not a whole lot of side draft in these
Yeah,
cars.
okay. Never been in one of these cars, so
Wow. So Ryan Walter maintains out front. All this kind of happened mid-pack behind him. So, like you said, it's going to hurt Team Ashton. Is anybody going to come down? I don't think so. Everybody's pretty much going to
'Cause
stay
if
out.
you
unless
look
they were
at
involved
what
in
we
that.
have, 1, 2, and then 3. So you got 4. We got
I see about 5 yellow and 4 blue right there in that
yeah,
shot.
it's going to be very interesting in the points at the end of the night.
We
So
had some
Tom, this
takers
is
on
your
pit
first
road.
time up here.
So we got. Good thing is we've got our points guru in the booth
Yes.
Yep.
to figure this out for us at the end.
The
As long as I
calculator
can-
burning yet?
As long as I can keep track of who's what on what team, I might hop out and grab somebody to read down that was actually in the race. and
Oh,
I
we
come
can do
back
that
another
here. We
day.
just click through the cars.
I got a written list here too if you need it.
All right.
Sharon reach out. So hi Sharon, she's still awake out there watching this, and these guys are nuts tonight. So we agree with that one.
Yes, they are. Oh my.
Hey, and you know what? We've had a food reference almost every race, except for this one. So you know what? With it being nuts, I believe that the Planters Peanuts colors are blue and yellow. There
They
you go.
are.
There we go.
This
That
is
was
the
good. That's good.
Peanuts race.
This is the absolute total mixed nuts race. So whether you're a cashew, we've seen a lot of walnuts out there. So a couple of guys sat on their peanuts, and now we're getting back and rolling here. I don't know how I pulled that one out, but woo! Da-da-da-da. Don't see any chicken or bologna out there, so we're good to go. We're rolling around here. 8 to go.
So if I missed
Mhm.
the reference to food last night, you'll have to fill me in what that was.
Actually, I don't. No, that last night was the headache powder, so we had to
Yeah,
recover from
those
eating all
goodies.
that food. Those like food
Yeah, there was a few
poisoning
of
from
those.
the first 2 nights. We had to recover last night.
Now there was a sausage reference to that race, as anybody who may have been up in the Discord late at night the night before, Kevin McCann was feeding sausages to Adam Rickey in the elevator.
In the elevator, yeah.
Elevator, yes. So everybody who missed it out in YouTube land, I'm not sure, but tune in on Sunday. That may be a little teaser right now. So we're rolling up with 1 lap to go to green.
Let's go and get Harry.
Very.
Team Ashton first row, Team Blair second row, and a mixed third row.
Let's go and get Harry, because it's go time. Don't hold nothing back. Get with your team. Push as hard as you can.
Yeah, that inside line could have a good run on Ryan Walter here. With them three, if them three can team up.
You got Walter, Ricker, Patterson, Webb, and then you got the mixture of Ricky and Downham, and those two have been well, I think Ricky was picked Jim a couple times, and I think Jim took Adam a couple times, but now they're on opposite teams tonight, so
And Jim is a product of Adam, having gone through Adam's Banff School of Racing.
but we all know those two will probably show each other respect if there's room. If there's anything's going to happen, it's going to be a product of racing in between those two. It's not going to be, I don't know. I can't really tell if these guys are sucking, like the wind is pulling them together, and that's what's causing some of these in the corners and stuff. I haven't really raced it, so I have no experience. Dustin, did you get any laps in?
I did not get any laps in this because I knew I wasn't going to be a part of it either way. I wish I would have, knowing now that I'm up in here, just so we could have that feel.
Right.
But I mean, it does look like there might be a little suck to them. But just looking at it, we'll have to make sure we ask that in the question in the booth when we bring some of these guys in after the race.
Absolutely. As Ryan Walter did get a good little jump, and Rickery gets down there. So, but then you had Highside get up there with Blair Patterson, and I believe you said that those two are friends, right? He pulled him in for this race, so I'm not sure if he's a road racing specialist. I never really raced around. But you can see that two just getting together, and then three up top. But anyways, we got somebody jump down, and it might be Adam that just jumped down in front of Jim.
They can really push through the corners. They're still stable right through the corners. No, locked right up.
Yeah, look at somebody jumped upside to break up that draft up top, so kind of broke up that Blair. But now, yeah, the high side is moving around. Adam did reference that earlier. Oh no, there's another aggressive block.
You saved it.
Good save.
Oh, and they're just, yeah, he took him way down on that one. He didn't like that too much, and he made sure he was known to that, so he pushed him way down on that inside line.
If I know Adam right now, the last thing he wants to do is hear Ryan Walter win a race.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, I think Adam
Apron coming into play again.
found the sunny side route for Raceway Victory Lane once or twice this week, so...
And he's just gonna make his way up there. Who is that making their way up there?
Jim?
Jim
I believe that is
No,
Jim.
On
Jim is
Adam.
making his way.
He just pushed him up the track to make room for himself.
But
And he got
Adam's
a
gonna
little
take the
early.
lead, I think, on the outside.
Yeah, 5 to go, and those... All right, so you got Adam, and is that Blair? No, that can't be Blair. Dean... Is that Webb? Is that the weapon?
Webb's in third in that line on the outside.
But they fall apart, so whoever...
Gotta
on
get
Ricky-
pushing on
Cochran.
Ricky's bumper there, and
But Cochran's right there, so Cochran, that might be Cochran on the outside. We haven't talked much about... We hardly ever talk about Robert Cochran, so he's up there. Jason Ricker. So now we've got a split. Oh, this is going to be tough to call. Dustin, man, you got to better get your calculator out, because I'm seeing 4 and 4. And then there's a mixture in the back there. So it's got to come down to 1 or 2 positions on who's going to win this grudge match with 4 to go.
Yeah, with 4 to go, I mean, Daytona is always a wild card race. I say it every time we're at this track, but you know, it's going to be interesting what happens. I don't think we've seen our last yellow, but I could be wrong there too.
Yeah, I'm seeing 7 blue cars and 5 Blair cars. So
Waiting to see if one of these blue cars decides to step out of line to try to hold that line up on the outside.
but at this point, if you have that many up near the front, I would just stay where you're at, because you have more of the blue cars on the, and they're all hooked up on the bottom, and then the Blair cars are hooked up on top. Now, Ricky said that he thought that the high side was the way to go, but you have more of the blue on the bottom than you do the top right now. So theoretically, with the way the draft usually works, the bottom line would be able to hold off that top line with 3 to go.
I think they're sucked up so tight, there's no runs to be made, so they're just going to be a stalemate right now. I think they're just going to hold tight.
And now those top 3 are nose to tail. I mean, they're... Oh, somebody, you know, that's good. As you can see, they got a little bit of, you can see the brake lights. So when they drag their brake, these you actually see when they're hitting their brakes on this one. You saw that as they're rolling down now with 2 to go down the back stretch. We got Ashton.
all that beating and banging, and here we are. We got yellow cars on the outside, blue on the inside.
And then we got, I think, 2 more blues behind that, and then a yellow. So right now, as it stands, even if it was to finish, but it's hard to say. We got 2 to go, and they have been aggressive. So I mean, it's really It's really too close to call right now.
Jim almost
Might have
stepped
messed
out
up
of
their
line.
run when they got stepped out. I mean,
All right, there's a 3 wide move that. Oh, and he broke that up. As
There's
they get around,
one!
Spinner.
get around. There's a spinner.
And it's a single car. They're
Single
gonna
car,
not
red
throw a
flag.
yellow.
Is all.
The white flag's out.
That just took out a couple Team Blue cars. That's going to screw up the points.
Right now, you got the 2 Ashton cars that are up front. Then you followed by 4 Blair cars, led by, I'm not really sure at the present moment.
Jim throwing a block on the inside line.
Jim needs to lock onto that bumper or Ryan and
Adam
push.
running down towards the end. He's gonna.
Ricky and Ryan getting together, and it's going to move Adam back. Can they have enough time to get up there? Robert Cochran's right there, and that Ricker's right there. The crossover move is being held. They're just bang. Oh, what a finish. The come down, and Team Ashton. Ryan Walter brings home the victory. Jim Downham in second. Adam Rickey third. Blair Patterson fourth. Jason Ricker fifth. Robert Cochran sixth. Dean Webb seventh. Robert Trask eighth. Ashton Hooker ninth. Bob Berlew 10th. Anthony Hooker 11th. Josh Armour, high side, comes home 12th. Nicholas Smith 13th. Lonnie Mixon 14th. Eric Steele 15th. Rick Kohler 16th. Chuck McDonald 17th. And Jeremy Gaiman, who must have had damage. He's out for the race. Came home in 18th.
All right, are you ready, Dustin?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. So first 2 are gonna be Team Ashton.
Yep.
Next 2 are Team Patterson.
Yep.
Then Jason Ricker is Team Ashton.
Correct.
Robert Cochran is Team Blair. Then Team Blair again. And then Team Ashton. Then Team Ashton again. Bob Berlew.
Team Ashton.
Team Ashton. Then Team Ashton again. And then Team Blair. Nicholas Smith.
Blair.
Blair.
Team Blair. Lonnie Mixon.
Blair.
Blair.
Eric Steele.
Blair.
Blair.
Rick Kohler.
He's Ashton.
Chuck McDonald.
Blair.
Jeremy Gaiman.
Ashton.
Should be Ashton.
So there you go.
Wow.
What do we got?
So that middle split, I think it's Ashton by just a hair. I mean, it's got to be so close.
Ashton's got more in the top 10, but then Blair goes on that run, so this is gonna be interesting.
All right, as we wait for that, should we try and bring down our captains?
Yeah, let's bring in some captains.
Can you guys move them, or do you need me to help?
No, I got this one here. So I'm gonna bring Ashton in, and then let's see if we can get Blair in here. Okay, we got our captains up here in the booth with us. Hopefully they got their ears on. Ashton and Blair, this is Jay up in the booth. You got our copy on us?
I do.
Wow. That's all I really got to say is wow. So tell me, team strat. We're doing some points calculations right now. We're not really sure who won, but what were some strategies out there? I mean, we almost in the booth from what it looked like, and you guys could tell me yay or nay. But we crossed the line from aggressive driving into dirty driving at some point.
If anything, our team had more fun.
It was aggressive.
It was aggressive.
It was aggressive.
So Ashton, was it a strategy set forth by your team on lap 4 to if Team Blair was getting a run on the outside to throw a block on the outside?
We talked about that beforehand, and it was just whenever it happened. And I saw it happening, and I went up there, and I said, well, they aren't going to do anything up here, so I got in front of them and just backed them down.
Shocking. Ashton not fast enough to actually race and pass anybody, so he could drive slow in the way. Weird.
Always.
How did this grudge match start? Let's see here.
Well, that's what he alluded to.
Yeah,
Let me try to remember here. Ashton not fast enough to actually race, so he could go slow enough to. That's what happened. That's exactly what I remember.
Yeah, that's what we kind of alluded to, right? During the race, that there was a lot of that kind of going on, and that's where I kind of came to the conclusion that it stopped being aggressive driving and turned into dirty driving, because we have this rule in TDR: you can block once, you can block twice. On the third time, you're game to be moved. And so did that come into the mindset at all?
I'm going for a ride.
We didn't discuss it in our Discord, but
that's sweet.
there was some upset drivers with some of the blockings.
Well, I can imagine, because it got very aggressive blocking. It looked like it all started from lap 2 or 3. I think is when some of it really started to get really aggressive, alluding up to that first caution. Did you guys discuss that? Was that on anybody's mind? With it being that it was the entire track, that you could stay off go below the yellow line. We've seen a lot of good drivers that weren't aggressive, that were being aggressive.
Jim Downham, like Jim Downham went down below the yellow line and then doored Adam Ricky to get himself back on the track going into the corner.
Yeah, so is that what you guys felt, that maybe you were? I mean, my question is what it comes down to is it a product of what you guys brought to the track tonight, or do you think it was just aggressive driving?
That's a good question. With these cars and the speed, one thing that I liked about this when Ashton and I tested these cars is like how tight of pack racing you can do. So these cars being as even as they are, it's going to be a product, of aggressiveness at some point in the program. But I didn't expect the blocking. Like, the blocking kind of took me by surprise.
Yeah, it kind of took us by surprise early in the race. And Ashton, I know you said you talked about that prior to the race, that you were gonna do that no matter when it was in the race. But being Daytona and kind of knowing the product of Daytona, what's gonna happen when things like that start to happen. You still didn't mind that it was so early in the race?
No, you in team races, most of the time you have to start right from the get-go. You can't lag behind, or else they're just gonna be able to go by you or pass you, and then sometimes you can't get that back. And by doing it at the start, you get that first advantage of both teams.
Yeah, I mean, so you had a pretty distinct advantage a lot during the beginning of the race. Your team did pretty distinct advantage as far as the running positions. But then when that stuff started happening, it started creating wrecks. It actually seemed to pull Team Blair more towards the front as your cars were more or less getting more wrecked than it seemed Team Blair. Or was I missing something?
No, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Did you fall asleep, Ashton?
I forgot what I was
I
gonna
think he
say.
did. I think he did.
You gotta take this
It is
guy.
late. It is the Masters bedtime usually.
We're asking. We're up here asking the tough questions because this is the first grudge match we've seen where there was overly aggressive driving in a week that we said we were going to have fun. So we're all kind of a little taken back by this. So we're asking the I guess the tougher questions, and I understand the hesitation really, but so Dustin, do you have some answers for us?
I do have some answers. It's close. I can tell you that. Team Ashton 361, Team Blair 350.
It's close.
11 points.
Oh, so this is like golf. We win. All right, nice job.
Sorry, Blair, that's not how
All
that
right,
works
Blair.
here. We're in racing.
Congratulations, Ashton.
Apparently, you didn't read all the rules, Ashton.
You didn't read the fine print.
Yeah, if you read the rule book, section 8, guideline C, Blair wins no matter what. If we have to use golf rules, we use golf rules. So sorry.
So
It's that
was
in
that
Kevin's
like
rule
I
book.
read the whole rule book, so was that like how like in commercials there's like that super tiny print that nobody actually sees nor cares to read? Was it
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, so at the end of the commercial, well, in the rule book, I actually hand wrote that in my copy. Maybe you didn't get that. But if it was on a commercial, at the end, it would have sounded like see dealer for details.
Makes sense. I got it. Did you get all that, Ashton? May have to play that back.
Yeah, I said I heard Ashton wins no matter what.
So
Even if
was
we
there a
don't have to
bet
use
on
golf
this
rules.
race?
Yeah, was there a bet?
T-shirt bet.
T-shirt bet. That is right. I don't know if you've got a skinny enough shirt for Ashton though.
Well, the good news is I've called the shipping company just in case. I've called the suppliers just in case we lost. Because, any given Sunday, right?
Right.
And
Or Thursday.
great news.
Wednesday.
Well, it's Thursday, so.
Schedules. Hashtag schedules. I got no idea, man. So the great news is we have a surplus of youth mediums. So we're going to be able to get that out to Ashton here shortly.
Youth.
I thought you were gonna. It's not like a onesie, like.
Yeah, I called the shipping department, and their answer was we have 2 utes. So I think we're good.
Okay, 2 youths. All
2
right, well,
utes, perfect.
Utes or
Now-
you?
now this leads up to another thing. Now, okay, are you guys going to be? I don't think it was settled tonight. I really don't. The way that everybody's alluding to, there's some guys that are a little bit not really sure exactly what happened. Is there going to be another grudge, kind of like a Lockwood 2? Lockwood Steel 2? Is it going to be an Ashton and Patterson?
Non-blocking race.
I am okay with having another grudge match. I am okay with grudge match number 2. I have multiple requests, but my biggest request, I want my exact same team back.
I think that's fair.
see-
In a
you see-
non-aggressive type of, like an actual driver's track, so it's like a shorter track. I think should be
Yeah, but-
settled
But I don't agree with that.
That's it. Make him a banger.
So you're gonna just pick a team group that your team's good at. So we have to redraft to make it even again.
Oh no, we can discuss track. I am open discussion on which track, which car, all this. I just want my exact same team because this team here that we had tonight, I really don't think it matters what car, what track, what anything. I think we're the better team.
And I think they're going to have some aggressions to take out. I think it's an entire team grudge match.
Team Grudge.
I
Banger or
think-
non-banger?
Yeah, what you guys can get together, we can discuss it and put something together. I think I'd like to see it. I think a lot of people would like to see it again, especially kind of the way this one played out tonight. You guys can discuss
Right.
maybe the rules that you want to go by and things of that sort, and we'll go from there.
Because 11 points. I mean, that was pretty close, and there was a lot of aggressiveness out there tonight. I saw a little bit of from everybody. So, a lot of aggressive moves on both sides, which I think it was more a product of what you guys ran. I mean, there's some things that I saw out on the track that were nobody's fault, where it was just you had to take what you could get at that time, and there were other times where actually I kind of had to go where Ashton would have said that you had to block or you would have got run over. So. And kind of hold your team and take that advantage and taking it. So we're gonna let you sort this out a little bit. But Ashton, so far you got a youth T-shirt coming to you, a youth medium.
Yeah. You
From-
should just send him a sock, Blair. That's what I would send him.
That might be too big.
I might just send him a beanie and say, "Here, you can wear this as a shirt."
Yeah. Well,
Final words on this one from you two, or?
Well, I just want to thank everybody at TDR, all the drivers that came out, even the guys that were on the wrong team. Want to thank everybody that came out. Super want to thank Andy and Ashton for helping get this set up, and everybody being so kind to let us start a little bit later so I could celebrate Mom's birthday with her tonight. And I'd be really excited for another run at it.
yes, and with that said, we want to say a big happy birthday to Mrs. Patterson.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed your day with Blair. He said we heard he was going to treat you well, and we hope he did. So big happy birthday from all of us at the TDR family.
Absolutely.
Ashton, what do you got for last words?
I think we had a amazing team. We all worked really well together. No matter how much Blair's team got between us, we worked around them. We pulled out the victory, obviously, and Blair, thank you for being such a good sport about it. Like, I
Deep
know
down
some
inside,
people
he's
who are.
flaming.
Don't look at my stream right now.
um, yeah, Blair and Andy, thank you for setting this up. I know Jay and Dustin and you guys don't get enough credit for streaming all of this constantly and all of the work you guys put into it, and thank you for that.
Oh, it's our pleasure up here. We enjoy watching these things play out and calling them as we see them. So, on that note, welcome from Sunny South Raceway Victory Lane. Congratulations, Aston, on your win tonight. Look forward to seeing you guys during the next one. So I'm going to move you back down to your respective channels, and we'll go from there.
Thanks guys
Thank
for
you.
coming out and putting this on for us.
Thank you, guys.
See ya. Jay, once you get them sorted out, let's get that. I got to talk to Jim and see if he took drugs tonight or.
It was a different Jim Dowman in that seat.
Yeah, did he have somebody else in his rig? Like, what was? That was the guy. That was the guy who couldn't take the buying a race because he had to run into people.
And you said he ran into Adam Ricky too, right?
He doored him right up the track.
He went to the apron and smashed into him to move him up so he could get back in line.
Should I bring Ricky in as well?
We do have a special guest in here with us as well.
Who?
Yeah, bring him in.
Okay. I'll bring Ricky, and so we're bringing Jim to the booth right now.
Yeah.
Let me pull down Mr. Ricky, and we'll get this all sorted out. If I can get enough. I can't get Ricky down here. He's kind of doing his own thing at the present moment. So we got Jim Downham in the booth. Jim, you got a read on us?
Yes, I do. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
How are
I am
you?
doing
And
really, really well.
And who drove your car tonight? Because it wasn't Jim Downham.
It was all me.
So
Now
now
I was in the other room. I was here all by myself, and I said, you know what? When Adam Ricky came up on the right side of me and he pushed me down, and I wasn't moving. I said, I'm holding my position. He taught me how to do it in the Banff racing school that we had, and I said, and I'm not moving. And I think that's what probably won us the race, that move there. But I'm not tooting my horn. I just wanted to just have a really good run after last night's disappointment with me. It was fun. I mean, I know I had a good time. Congratulations to all the team. We had so good communication up front between Ricker and Hookers and Ryan. I mean, it was great. It was really good.
So we saw you make a move down below the yellow line twice.
Yeah, right. and I had a really good run, and I screwed up. I absolutely when Cochran, I think it was Cochran, the number 90, and we got into each other. He didn't give me much room when I was down there, so we kind of like doored each other, and then he spun. I didn't. I held it, but I feel bad. I mean, I had a nice run going on, and I had to do it.
And then the second time at the end of the race, you were down below the yellow line.
Yep.
Adam was hugging the yellow line on the inside line of the track.
Mm-hmm.
You're going into the corner. You got to get back up to the track, and you lay a door into Adam to move him. This
Yep.
is the Jim Downham who didn't like the contact last night.
Correct.
What changed?
Uh, I don't. It was the teamwork. You know, Adam races really. He knows. I mean, Adam knows what to do on the offense, defense, in defense. I mean, Adam is excellent. He's wonderful. And I said, I'm not going to move. I'm going to run. I'm going to run him hard. That's what he wants, and it paid off. You know, for us, and I'm really maybe it helped my confidence a little bit. I don't know.
So now can
All
you be
right.
a part of a banger race since you're okay with
I
moving somebody out of the way?
I didn't move him. We didn't move. But he never. We were door to door,
You moved him
and
straight up the track so you could be on the inside line.
We do have Ricky in the booth.
well, there he is.
No, I
I
would
want to
just
hear
sit here and
Adam.
So
listen.
Adam and
This has
Ricky,
been
yeah.
fun. This is awesome.
Go ahead, Jim.
What's that?
So go ahead, continue.
I don't know where I left off. I apologize.
Oh.
She's nervous now.
Yeah.
No, Adam. Hey, Adam.
Jim,
Turn
Jim,
three
you know I
was-
love you. Jim, you know
I love you too, man.
You know what I mean? Like here's the deal. Like I spent a lot of time with Jim talking about things. I wish he would race harder. He raced hard tonight. Like he didn't do anything wrong. You know, with it. You know, there's a risk reward component. It could have ended poorly for him and me.
Yep.
It did not. And I know like everyone's getting on because he's Gentleman Jim, but maybe in there somewhere there's a little bit more regression type driver, and I'd love to pull more of that out.
Thank you. Yeah, it was very comfortable running these cars, and we had a practice before earlier tonight, and we were bumping and banging and seeing what the cars were capable of doing. But that's not why I did it. I did it because I wasn't going to move for you. You don't want us to move. You want us to run the race. You got me down below the yellow line, and I said I'm not lifting. I'm going to go in, and we're either going to wreck or we're going to come out of it. And I couldn't have a better guy on the outside of me. You know what I mean? Because you race so clean, and you had some tricks up your sleeve, and I knew it. And that's the only thing I'd do is do what I had to do. And I'm really proud of myself. I took my right hand, I raced it over the back of my head, and patted myself on the back and said, "Good job, Tim."
So, since you are Gentleman Jim, right, and
Yeah.
you like to say see clean racing and things of that sort.
Yes.
You were on Team Ashton.
Yep.
And we talked to Ashton, and he stated that the game plan was to block.
Not necessarily block. It was just we were protecting the bottom line. I mean, because you could get a run on the inside.
Well,
So
he
we
was
knew if we held the inside line, okay, maybe Ashton was running the outside line. Maybe he wasn't full throttle, but it wasn't really blocking. It was just good racing. It was team racing.
Is that
He-
racing, or is it
he-
crossing
he-
the line into dirty?
No, I don't think so because they did the same thing. So there's two sides of every story, and I know they did it also. Is it right? It's a team race. If it was different, if it wasn't a team race, would he be out there holding the throttle up a little bit? To give us the
Now,
line. I agree.
and the reason I ask these questions of
Yep.
everybody is, we've a lot of the drivers involved tonight have been a part of TDR versus Pudge.
Yep.
And when we're in the Discord and listening to it, I hear everybody complaining about that kind of driving from Team Pudge.
Okay. No, I understand what you're saying. I mean, on this particular car on this track, you really had to do that to get the run, to get the guy up front. It was a team effort, and I don't know if anybody got wrecked by blocking. I know I took the 90 car out earlier in the race when I went a little bit online.
It was
but
definitely the cause of the first two cautions.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
first caution was on lap 5.
And that was with Anthony, right? With Steele.
I don't remember. Somebody had to try to go to the inside line because Ashton was holding up, or tried to go into the middle because Ashton was holding the outside line up on lap 2. So.
Well, we just got going again. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see the replay. I concentrated more so. I haven't gone back and watched. I only watched a couple replays with Hooker, but I didn't see that incident, so I can't really.
Adam, being on the other side of the coin, what did you think of that?
as far as like clogging up a line. I don't with the way the rules were with the track being fully open, way you could run with these cars running 3 wide is totally fine. And I said this during the broadcast when you got me under caution. All of us that had pitted on lap 5 were good to the end. There was honestly no reason to push it. Let them burn out their gas when they pitted. We would have won by a lap. It wouldn't even have been, a competition. So like even though Ashton was up there doing it, we didn't really need to be forced in this situation either and getting worked up about it. We should have just ignored it and let him do it, and then won the race and won everything for Blair, and just moved on with our night and moved into the penthouse.
Now that being said, how were both discords as far as the team communication going into it? Was anybody upset? Anybody, were you guys just out there having a good time? Were you discussing that throughout the course of the race about how aggressive each team had to have been, and when something happened? Because I know early in the race, Adam, it looked like Kohler was just he bumped you like down below the yellow line, and that kind of stacked everybody up before that first caution. So how were things
Yeah,
communication down there?
yeah, you mean that thing there? Like actually, I had 2 incidents with Kohler, both of them in the one turn. The first one, which caused the crash, be behind us when he was trying to push me down, and then later where when he pushed me down, I just let the wheel go straight. So then that wrecked everybody. But it's one of those things of like that type of stuff didn't need to be going on, but I've been doing this enough in my experience and this in real world, and you know if people kind of want to run that way, then that's really their prerogative. And like I said before, I was saying it on the Discord. There's a risk reward component when you make those decisions, like we are just talking about with Jim down below the yellow line, moving down into the 3 turn, and like when he hit me square, so he was able to move me up. He didn't hit me in a corner or anything like that, so that's all good. But then there's other moments where people are doing those things, and you're really putting other people at risk that didn't necessarily need to go. So as the race went on, like emotions started like ramping up just a little bit more and a little bit more. And I'm assuming the same thing on the other side of the Discord, like those little things that were nagging at people or they thought was a dirty thing or this or that. Like I don't believe anything is dirty. It's a risk reward component, and whether you agree with it or not, that's up to everybody to look at individually.
Was there a little side draft going on?
I can tell you in our Discord, like it's identical what Adam said, and it did get more. The more we got closer to the end, the more aggressive we all got. You know what I mean? And we were all there racing for the win. For Team Ashton, and they were racing for Team Blair. Um, I gotta say this was a team racing thing. If it was a pudge race and the same thing happened, I would be okay with this because I don't know if you drove the car or not. This car is stable as stable could be. You can make moves and you can be smart. Like my turn 3 episode going into Cochrane, I believe it was. I was totally out of line, but when we hit, he didn't spin until into turn 3. I mean, like halfway through turn 3. But again, it was an aggressive move. Absolutely. Did they have aggressive moves? Absolutely. Like Adam said, it's risk or reward. And it was just one of those nights where I really felt comfortable. And the team themselves, as we wound down, they weren't after anybody. We were mainly racing for position, and that's what we did.
All right, so I mean, teams seem to, because we had both Ashton and Blair up here, and we got their perspective on it. And Ashton, I'm not sure if when the tough questions were being answered, he kind of clammed up a little bit and kind of put the lid on a little bit of things. And Patterson said that there were some upset guys down there, but I believe it's kind of goes back to the Bristol Puchnowski race type of deal. It's what these guys brung to the track as to what the product of what we saw tonight. Was there side drafting? We didn't really see side drafting. I'm not sure if that's what brought you guys together out there on the track, or if the cars just kind of sucked into each other
But they did.
as you're going through the turn, and that's what was causing a lot of the bang ups. We do have another special guest in the booth, and that's Cochran. Robbie, got your ears on us?
Yes, I do. How you doing?
Hey, Rob.
Good. And what were you seeing out there? You heard Jim mention that he got into it. Wasn't on a purpose thing, and you spun down there. What's your take on it?
Well, the whole incident with Jim, I don't remember. I'm gonna have to watch the replay, but I did feel like I was in New York City. Saw a lot of brake lights. But let me tell you something. I got a lot to learn about racing. Adam had me do something that I was surprised that the car could do. He had me push him for the last few laps, but I just felt like I didn't want to dump him. So, but now that I know that that car can do that, you know, it's just little things that Adam was teaching me during this race that helped. But other than that, you know, it was crazy, but it was
Right. Well,
fun.
you brought it home 6th tonight, so I mean, you brought home a top 10. I mean, you stayed up there
Yeah,
and
yeah,
learned a lot, I'm sure, with these cars. And we see
yeah.
you on the veterans races, and we thank you for your service and what you do for everybody. And
Well, I
that's wonderful
appreciate
to see
that.
you out there. And to be up here with two of the gentleman Jim who um, went under Ricky's wing, and of course Ricky helps everybody out in TDR as much as he can,
Yep.
making everybody a better driver. It's kind of kind of nice to hear that nothing was done on purpose, but I believe there's going to be a Ashton Patterson 2, and Patterson wants the same drivers.
I'm,
Are you guys
I'm,
comfortable with that?
oh, of
Absolutely.
course. I, I had a feeling that round two was coming.
I mean, again, yeah, we won. I mean, so
Yeah,
my
that's
But it was
loss
close. I mean,
would
it was
be,
only
yeah,
11 points. It was only
correct.
11 points.
And everybody has their own opinions, and leaning back to what oh my gosh, my mind. I'm sorry. Andy said, about aggression and pudge, and we won. So of course my opinion is going to be different than Adam's. But in the respect of racing, where I was, I didn't get turned on. Nobody. My turn three was just a go because I had a nice run, and I thought we could squeeze it up there. But you live and learn.
yeah.
Um,
My
I don't know.
my
I thought it was a real good race, and I'd be very happy for a rematch.
yeah.
Absolutely.
The only thing that I would change about this race is no running below the yellow. We'll do
No
it like
what?
a typical Daytona. No under yellow.
Adam, what do you
No.
think of that under yellow, under that yellow line? Because you got caught down there a couple
Yeah.
times. That seems to
Yep.
be where the aggression came from. So, Adam, you being the one that learned a little bit more than all this, how do you feel about that?
Yep.
Honestly, come on, guys. If it's inside the walls, you should be using it. Like I think everybody should know me by now. I think the yellow line takes a lot of like the racing component out of it, but I do think because everyone's so used to that being there, they're not necessarily as wise to the draft and where to put the cars and how to race around it. So it's more of a novel, some type of novelty of the racecraft when it comes to big tracks like that. So I don't think it has to go away, but I think through this process, maybe some people go back and be a little bit more reflective as to, were those early times, worth what it ended up causing. Depending on where you finish, might dictate how you feel about it. But also at the same time, like you being a little bit, a little bit wiser to it. So like maybe next time, get rid of 2 quick repairs, maybe
Right.
go to 0.
Yep.
And
Yes.
guess what? There won't be those big moves
Right.
happening
Exactly.
so much because you're like, well, if I go in there and I just cave the right front end, I'm done for the rest of the race and I'm useless.
Right.
So
Yep.
I think there's some other things that could be done around it. Whether they would come back to Daytona and like these Riley prototypes again. Like I mean that's up to them, to decide. But if it's the basis this was blocking and now there's some blocking in this and whatever your perception of it, I'm more Switzerland on this deal than anything else. If they want to do it again, let's put it in some street stocks, something that can take a beating, and go run it that way.
Yeah, I think that's what they're planning on doing is getting off of the Riley prototypes. Your guys' experiences out there tonight, I mean, it was a learning experience for everybody because we really don't see these cars. We don't race these cars in any of the series that we do. So it was a different track. It was kind of designed a bit more for the road courses here than the straight up oval. So I think that kind of put everybody together. There were a lot of pack racing, which is what Ashton and Blair wanted. It ended up being a good race. I mean, it was aggression on both sides, but in the end, I mean, as you rewatch the broadcast and you look up at different points of the race, and Andy Tom and Dustin can agree that it was pretty much even, and to come down to an 11-point split, I don't think you can get. That's only one or two positions out of place there that could have flipped this thing around. So I think it was a good race overall. Andy, your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a good race. Like I said, I think the aggressive driving, in my opinion, you started off with aggressive driving, it turned into dirty driving. That's just my opinion. Again, somebody else might have a different opinion. I'm also not of the proponent of throwing a block on lap 2 at Daytona. Again, my opinion. Um, you know, Daytona is notorious for the big one, right? So um, usually
And
want
there
to
were
kind of
several of them tonight.
yeah,
Several big ones.
kind of want to run it through. You're not going to lose a ton of ground at Daytona, right? So you can go out there and run 30 of the 50 laps in a line if you want to, and then start getting aggressive. I think would be fine. I think lap 2 is a little early for that type of driving, but other than that, yeah, it was a good race, great finish. I mean, exciting finish.
Mhm.
Be excited to see it something in between these two again because I know Blair is over the blocking.
Right.
I would assume that if Ashton ever blocks Blair again in a race that they're together, Ashton will go for a ride.
Yeah, I think so too. Just by the way that they were discussing things tonight.
Yeah.
But it was a product of the car and the track. I mean,
Right.
that's the only way that you could advance yourself. But I mean, we weren't trying to cut anybody off, or you know what I mean.
Oh, Jim, we saw it. We
Well, see,
literally
I don't
saw
know. See, I'm just speaking in my car,
Right.
but I'm not. I didn't watch the whole race. I'm just giving you my
So I'm going to
opinion.
tell you. I will describe lap 2 to you, Jim. Okay.
Yep. I'm back watching it right now.
Yeah,
So
lap 2. It was lap 2 or 3. It brought the first caution out. Um, your team had the low line.
Yep.
Okay, 4 or 5 cars deep. Team Blair started to make a run on the outside. As soon as they started to make a run on the outside and got up to about the second or third row, Ashton, I believe, was the leader at that time or in P2, slid directly up in front of the outside line and held them up.
Killed the momentum. Yep. So
And then it caused the first wreck there on lap 4 or 5.
Can I jump in? Like this, like post race is like so depressing.
okay, well let's jump
Like
in.
just
All
like
right, all right. Well, we
you know what
got
I mean? Let's
okay.
go to something like exciting.
All right, so
Like
now
clearly nobody
we
agrees.
right. Okay, so we're going to definitely see a Blair Ashton 2 coming up. So now that that's all over, everybody had a great time. Jim, congratulations on bringing it home second, and good to see you out there being a little more aggressive. I'm sure a lot of the drivers agree, and I think that's what pretty much put everybody in this like wow mood. But and then Adam, you brought it home third. Congratulations on that, and your team trying to hang in there and teaching definitely Robert Cochran how to get up there. Tom, Dustin, you guys got anything? I know there's a big one coming up on Sunday, and I think we have somebody in the booth that is a leader in that one.
One
Yeah.
note, Adam, you can never change the numbers again. You confused us all tonight.
It was not my fault. Blame Ricker.
Yeah,
Right.
we were looking at number 2 saying Adam, and then we realized it wasn't Adam.
Yeah, it's all Ricker's fault. I don't know what he was thinking. Clearly, he didn't have his number set up. So, however it got assigned is how it got assigned in iRacing. Again, these are cards that we're not used to using. But just like think about this: we just ran however many laps. Don't even remember at this point, and it was at Daytona with a car that sticks to the ground that has drafting capabilities with the no yellow line rule. Sunday night, we're going back to Legacy Daytona with all the bumps and issues that track brings in a car of the 1987 Cup cars that drive horrifically with no yellow line rule again. Now, think about what that's going to be like.
It's going to be
I'm
chaos.
excited.
It's
I'm
going to be
excited.
mass hysteria.
I hope people watch this and think a little bit more about going below the yellow line early or when they do it. I guarantee you, some of the crashes we had here tonight won't be nearly as spectacular as what's going to happen Sunday night. And with any luck, it'll be Kevin.
But I will tell you, but the spectacularness of the crashes tonight was really there. Helicoptering cars, cars flying through the air, I don't think the
No.
87s will get as airborne.
They might just take off going down the backstretch without anybody even touching them.
That's true.
So they drive like they're on ice skates anyway.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
behind. I mean, that was a spectacular race that we used to see in the early part of the Legends, man. Everybody were flipping down the backstretch. I think we saw Petty at one point flipping down the backstretch. These guys get over. Earnhardt made a few where he's gone over. So, yeah, you get these cars backwards and they're going to go.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna have some spectacular incidents. It's gonna be amazing, and I feel like everything that's gone on this week, and as things have gone right, like where the racing started to I don't remember what even happened on Monday now. It's been so many things with TDR these last few nights, but like last night, it was an awesome free for all, and there were some amazing things that happened there. And then tonight, like did some of the aggression carry over from what everybody was doing last night? Where's the other things that going on to it? But hopefully everybody's got a couple of days. They enjoy their new year, however they want to celebrate it. They sober up for Sunday evening to make sure we keep as many cars pointed straight, at least on my team as possible. I built the team around a little bit of that, where Kevin went all for speed, and when they all pile it up, we'll go on and take the win.
That's right. I'm on team.
And just to remind you, Adam, Monday was lunch meat.
Yeah, lunch meat.
See, lunch meat, then it was mustard and relish, and then
Right.
banger race, and then what did you guys call this for a little cutesy name?
The peanuts.
The peanuts, because you had the blue and yellow.
And everybody
Okay,
was
so you had
nuts on the track
planners,
tonight.
and thanks to Sharon for pointing that out. She said everybody is nuts, and I just happened to look down and notice that the cars were blue and yellow, and that's the planners peanuts guys. So we had walnuts, we had guys sitting on their peanuts, we had a couple of cashews out there thrown around. I mean, it was just nuts out there tonight. So
You were like enunciating, right? Just say.
yes, I'm trying to enunciate. Yes, it's 11:50. But we're good. No, everything's good. But no, congratulations everybody on a great race tonight. It was very interesting. So it's great to see what's going to come out of this.
Thank you, Andy. I really appreciate what you did. It's been a great week. It's an eye opening. It's fun, and to get a group of guys together, every night with different things and being grudge races, and that's what they're called. We're going to have any type of team. You're going to have opinions on both sides.
Yeah.
If we would have lost, my opinion would be different. You know what I mean? But that's the way it is. It was it done intentionally? No. But
Okay.
did we mean to take anybody out? No. It was a team concept. And we've done it before on team as far as holding the line. We've done it before in team concept racing. So I have to go back and watch the race. But to me, it was a team race, and that's what it was. And with no intention, absolutely no intention of taking anybody out. That wasn't the intent.
No, I don't think there was anybody intentionally.
But
taking
it was
anybody
so
out.
much fun though. I tell you what, this car.
Although
is
we
so fun
did
to
think
drive.
Adam intentionally took out Rick Kohler at one point.
Oh no, that happened. You don't even have to question it.
Oh, you did do it. So you did do it. Okay.
I said
Yeah, we
earlier.
were
I turned the,
wondering.
well, wait a second. Wait.
We
when
never
you
did look at
put
his
me
zinc car.
down. Well, no. So what happened? So like I should probably clarify specifically what I did. I didn't know what the outcome would be because there's a lot of variables in this world. However, the second time he did it, I just turned the wheel straight, and well, the track was turning left. So, at that point, who knew what was going to happen? It was a
Oh.
guess.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, on that note, guys, it's running into a long broadcast, so we need to really ramp up the energy up in this booth again. Andy, come on, let's get it rolling. Tom, bring some energy in, and then let's roll this one out. Take a couple days off. Happy New Year to everybody out there in YouTube land. Sharon, thank you for tuning in. Lonnie Mixton is out there. He chimed in. Ashton, thank your dad for letting you race. So Ashton must have been in trouble. So I guess Tony let him race tonight, which is a good thing.
He got in trouble again?
Yeah, he got in trouble again. So I guess, yeah, from Uncle Nani just said, he wants to thank Tony for letting him race tonight. So
You gotta clean
Maybe
it
it
up
was
there. You
past
gotta
his day.
clean it up there, Ashton. Remember, you got 1,000 dads now, so.
Yes, he does. Absolutely.
But no, absolutely. We got Ricky McCann, this is like the penultimate event. That is the main event. Gloves are going to be on and off at times, and it's going to be really fun. Robert, thank you for joining us in the booth, and you're doing an excellent job out there. We call your name quite a bit lately here, so congratulations on moving up through the field and Jim, I mean, you're just constantly moving towards that front. So we're going to start seeing a lot more wins in 2022, I hope, from you and Adam. And that'd be nice to see coming down for a few. And it keeps up like this. Ryan Walter, who was our teddy bear event, ended up pulling out another win tonight. And Team Ashton for pulling off their victory tonight over Team Blair. So I didn't think anything was intentional. Andy, I'm going to leave it to you. You can take us all out of here if you want to leave it up to one of the other guys, but I am done talking for the evening, and I will see you on Sunday.
All right. Well, we want to thank all the racers tonight for coming out and all week, right? Just thank you for being a part of this. Our hope doing this, we call it grudge matches, right? But there's nobody really holding a big grudge here. It's more of a family friendly get together, put some teams together, have some fun. You've seen it all week, different dynamics in every race. You had the gentlemanly race on Monday with the lunch meet race, and then Tuesday we had Steele and Lockwood put together an excellent race on Bristol in the super late models. There's an example of what Adam was talking about with no quick repairs, right? It was a very, very clean race. And then last night we had the banger race where everybody just got out there and had a bunch of fun, except for maybe the guys that were scorers. Didn't have so much fun. I know Blair didn't have so much fun. Jim didn't have so much fun. So it was kind of rough for them. Again, a different dynamic tonight. We put a prototype car on the high banks here at Daytona. With two really aggressive teams that were really wanting to win, and so we had another dynamic kind of unfold throughout the race tonight, and that all leads us to Sunday. And Sunday, the big main event, the one that everybody's been waiting to see, Kevin and Adam. Adam sits in the penthouse now, wants to keep his penthouse to himself. He doesn't want to have to give Kevin a key, so. That's going to be another dynamic, right? A heavy car, excuse me, one that you got to wheel around at Daytona, at the old track, bumpy track. But it's brought everybody together for the week and kind of going into the new year. And the hope is that we've learned a little bit of something about team racing. This will help us in the future against Budjanowski and any other team events we may do. But I want to thank all the drivers first. Then everybody out there watching. No point in sitting here. No point in sitting here if you guys aren't watching. So I'm exhausted, to be honest with you. This week has kind of wore me out, being in the booth every night except for last night. Got to have some fun last night. I'm exhausted. This race kind of went on a little late, but I made sure that we had it broadcasted for all you guys watching. Might not have brought the energy tonight. Like I said, I'm really tired tonight. So I apologize for my lack of enthusiasm tonight, maybe. But we'll be back here. We're going to take 2 days off. I'm going to get some rest. We're going to have, some family time over the New Year holiday, and we'll be back here Sunday for the main event. So thank you all for tuning in. Come back on Sunday for the big one. And until then,